sure you've tried the Kettle before. It's the close range semi-automatic assault rifle, it's got high recoil, it's cheap and it's fun to use. I wanted to see how fast it can fire, what the average fire rate would be, and then what the time to kill would look like. We're going to go through the weapon stats, then figure out the fire rate, and finally calculate the time to kill. First, let's talk about the weapon upgrades. So you have a base level, a level 2, level 3, and level 4. The base level has no modifiers. The level 2 has 25% extra bullet velocity and 13% quicker reload, and an extra 10 durability. The level 3 has 50, 26, and 20. Level 4 has 75, 40% quicker reload, and 30 extra durability. So I went into my clips and found out how quickly we can reload. It turns out you get a base reload of 5 seconds, which is why it says it's a slow reload. Level 2 is 4.4, level 3 is 3.7, and a level 4 is 3.0. I don't know the bullet velocity, so I can't give you any stats on that, and the durability is at 100 and goes up to 130. There are some other stats, but I've just picked out the most interesting. So ammo is light, arc penetration is weak, magazine size is 20, damage is 10, but we don't know about the fire rate. Of course, if you pull the trigger faster, you're going to get more bullets out, but there has to be a limit. The wiki said that the fire rate's 28, which I'm assuming is 28 shots per second, but I don't really see the gun firing that fast. But if you think you can fire faster, you can send me your clips to my email linked in the description, and if you want we can make a little leaderboard out of it. First of all, we need to measure the time between shots, which I can do using the number of frames in the clips. But what's important is that we measure the muzzle flash and not the HUD, as the HUD can have a slight lag and it's not very consistent. I've taken all my Kettle clips and calculated both the peak fire rate as well as the average fire rate. To calculate the fire rate, we take the frames per second that I recorded at, divide that by the frames per shot, and that gives us the shots per second. So my max fire rate was recorded at 60 FPS and it took 5 frames. Therefore we get 12 shots per second. 12 shots per second times 60 seconds, you get 720 shots per minute. So this is all the data, max, min and average. Min was just a slightly slower fire rate if you were maybe trying to fire at someone slightly far away, you want to wait until the recoil stabilises again. So the max was 720 shots per minute and 12 shots per second. The min was 212 shots per minute, which is 4 shots per second, and the average was 400 shots per minute, that's 7 shots per second. Now we have all the stats we need to calculate the time to kill. In my previous video I already calculated how each one of the shield types works with their damage mitigation, and I suggest that you should check it out if you haven't already. It's linked in the description. We can then see what it looks like for a single 10 damage shot to each of the different shields. As I said, all the different shields will take 10 damage, but then your HP takes a little bit less damage. 6, 5.75 and 4.75. You can see that the light shield and the medium shield is pretty much the same, the heavy shield does reduce it a bit. But that's only the damage for one shot. You're going to get shot a lot more, so if you got shot 4 times, you would lose your light shield and you'd be lost 24 HP. A medium user still has their shield up, but they've only lost 23 HP, so that's pretty similar to the light shield. A heavy shield user, however, has lost half of their shield and lost 19 HP, so they're a little bit healthier. By the time you lose your medium shield, the light user has actually lost 3 shots of unmitigated damage, shown in purple. This takes 7 shots to get there. The light user would have lost 54 HP, the medium user 40 HP, and the heavy user 33 HP. By the time you lose your heavy shield, the light armor user has lost 64 HP, the medium armor has lost half their HP, but the heavy armor has only lost 38 HP. Then to kill the light user you need 12 shots, to kill the medium user 13, but to kill the heavy user 15. So now we can look at each of the shields, light, medium and heavy, the 12, 13 and 15 shots it takes to kill the person wearing each of them. We have the fire rate of low, average and max, 4, 7 and 12 per second. So that's 3.4 seconds to kill a light with a low fire rate, 1.8 seconds with an average fire rate, and 1.0 with a quick fire rate. For medium it takes 3.7, 2.0 and 1.1, and for heavy it takes 4.3, 2.3 and 1.3 seconds respectively. So a commenter had a question in my last video about the times to kill and how reloads affect it. We've all been there when you've got a couple more bullets and you just need to reload before you can take down the other raider, so depending on what gun you have this can have a larger or smaller effect. The Kettle specifically says that it's a slow reload time and therefore it's only fair to take that into account. Then in the future I'll do this for every other weapon that I look at, just so that everything's fair. I'm only going to be looking at a level 1 and level 4 just to keep the data a little bit more manageable, so that's 5 and 3 seconds reload time. Let's start with the level 1. We just add on an extra 5 seconds to all the data points in the table, and if you need to reload twice we'll add 10 seconds. For the level 4 we're adding 3 seconds, so 3 seconds onto the table, and the 2 reloads takes 6 seconds. Now I had another commenter who was asking about headshots and how they impact damage. So for the Kettle, it's 2 times headshot damage because it's not one of the special headshot weapons like the anvil. And so you can just half the time it takes to kill someone, supposing that you hit every single headshot. Now I know that's not exactly realistic, but it is technically the fastest time to kill that you can possibly get. So if you're killing a light shield person, it takes 1.7, 0.9 and 0.5 seconds to kill them, a medium 1.8, 1.0, 0.5, and a heavy 2.1, 1.1 and 0.6. Now if you're able to hit 12 headshots back to back to back, that is insane, but you will kill them in half a second. Of course, your fire rate might be higher than mine, so if you want to be part of the leaderboard, send in your clips and we can see how fast you can shoot. Comment if you think I've missed something, and I'll be making more mathematically correct Arc Raiders videos. If you want to raid with maths on your side, please subscribe.